Chapter 1. Setting Sail. In the year 1500, a ship called the Sultan's Heart set sail from the coast of the Ottoman Empire. It was a large ship filled with goods from the empire. The crew was excited because they were going to Africa to trade. Among them was a young man named Malik, who worked as a sailor. He dreamed of adventure and seeing new lands. The ship had many people on board, including traders and slaves. The slaves were being taken to work on plantations in Africa. They were not free and felt scared about what would happen to them. The journey would take many days, and the crew hoped for good weather. As the ship sailed, the sun shone brightly. The crew sang songs and shared stories. Malik looked at the ocean and felt a mix of excitement and sadness. He wished for a better life for everyone on the ship. But soon, dark clouds began to form in the sky, and the mood changed. Chapter 2. The Pirate Attack. Suddenly, a loud noise filled the air. Malik and the crew turned to see another ship approaching fast. It was a pirate ship. The pirates wanted to steal the goods and capture the crew and slaves. Malik's heart raced as he shouted, "Everyone, prepare for battle!" The crew quickly grabbed their weapons, but the pirates were already on board. They fought fiercely, and the sound of swords clashing echoed across the deck. Malik tried to help defend the ship, but there were too many pirates. He saw the fear in the eyes of the slaves and knew they had to escape. In the chaos, the pirates took control of the ship. Malik and some other crew members managed to hide, but the pirates soon discovered them. They captured Malik and took him along with the slaves. The ship was now in the hands of the pirates, and they set sail for an unknown destination. Chapter 3. The Journey to Captivity. Malik and the others were taken below deck. The air was hot and filled with fear. The pirates laughed and boasted about their victory, while Malik felt hopeless. He thought about his family and how he had wanted to see the world. Now, he was trapped. Days turned into weeks, and the pirates sailed further away from the Ottoman Empire. Malik tried to comfort the other captives. He told them stories of bravery and hope. "We will find a way to escape," he said, trying to lift their spirits. But each day was harder. They received little food and water. The pirates did not care for their captives. Malik felt weak, but knew he had to stay strong for the others. They discussed plans to escape, but every time they tried, the pirates were too watchful. Chapter 4. A Chance to Escape. One night, while the pirates were busy celebrating their latest capture, Malik saw a chance. The guards were drinking and laughing, which made them careless. Malik whispered to the others, "This is our moment. We must be quiet and fast." The captives carefully climbed up the stairs to the deck. The moonlight shone brightly, giving them a small amount of light. They moved quietly, trying not to make any noise. Malik led the way, feeling a mix of fear and hope. When they reached the top, they saw the pirate ship was anchored near a deserted island. Malik thought it was their chance to jump overboard and swim to safety. He turned to the others and said, "We have to go now." Without waiting for a reply, Malik jumped into the sea. The cool water felt refreshing, but he was scared of what lay ahead. One by one, the others followed him, and they all began to swim toward the island. Chapter 5. The Island. After swimming for what felt like hours, Malik and the others finally reached the shore of the island. They were tired and cold, but they felt free for the first time in weeks. They collapsed on the sand, catching their breath. Malik looked around. The island was beautiful, with tall trees and clear water, but they knew they could not stay there forever. They needed food and fresh water. Malik suggested they explore the island to find something to eat. The group split up, searching for berries or coconuts. They felt nervous but hopeful. After a while, they found some berries that looked safe to eat. They shared the food, grateful for this small blessing. While eating, they discussed their next steps. They knew they needed a plan to survive and get back home. Chapter 6. Survival days passed, and the group learned to survive on the island. They found fresh water from a stream and learned which fruits were safe to eat. Malik took charge, teaching everyone how to gather food and stay safe. One day, while exploring, they found a cave. It could be a good shelter, so they decided to stay there. The cave protected them from the sun and wild animals. They made it their home, using leaves and branches to create a comfortable space. However, they still felt anxious. They missed their families and the life. Chapter 7. Searching for food. With their food supply dwindling, Malik led a group into the forest to search for more. They walked cautiously, listening for sounds of animals. The forest was thick, and they had to push through bushes and climb over fallen trees. After some time, they spotted a fruit tree filled with ripe mangoes. Excitedly, they climbed up and began to pick the fruit. The sweet taste was a delight, and they ate as much as they could carry. Just then, they heard rustling nearby. Malik signaled for everyone to be quiet. They watched as a wild boar wandered into the clearing. The group felt a mix of fear and curiosity. Malik whispered, "We should be careful. That animal could be dangerous." They decided to leave the area quickly and head back to the cave. On the way, they discussed their situation. They needed a plan to leave the island and find help. Chapter 8. The Storm. One night, while the group was resting in the cave, dark clouds filled the sky. A storm was coming. Malik and the others felt anxious, knowing the storm could be dangerous. They gathered together and prepared for the worst. The wind howled and rain poured down. They huddled in the cave, trying to stay dry. The sound of thunder shook the ground, and Malik worried about their safety. He reminded everyone, "Stay close. We will get through this together." As the storm raged on, the group shared stories to keep their spirits up. They talked about their families and the lives they left behind. The storm lasted all night, but they remained united. They knew they had to support each other. When morning came, the storm finally passed. The sun peeked through the clouds, and the group felt a sense of relief. They had survived another challenge together. Chapter 9. A New Plan. After the storm, Malik called the group together. "We need to find a way off this island. We can't stay here forever," he said. They discussed their options and agreed to build a raft. The group worked together, gathering wood and vines to construct the raft. It was hard work, but they encouraged each other. Each person had a role. Some collected materials, while others tied them together. As they built, they faced challenges. They had to make sure the raft was strong enough to carry everyone. The sun was hot, but they took breaks to drink water and eat fruits. They also kept an eye out for any wild animals. Despite the difficulties, they felt determined. Their goal was to reach the mainland and find help. They talked about what they would do once they were safe, which gave them hope as they worked on the raft. Chapter 10. Launching the Raft. After days of hard work, the raft was finally ready. Malik and the others gathered around it, feeling excited and scared. They knew this was their chance to escape the island. As they pushed the raft into the water, they felt a mix of hope and fear. Would it float? Would they make it to the mainland? They climbed onto the raft carefully, to keep their balance. With Malik at the front, they set off into the open sea. The waves rocked the raft, but they paddled with sticks they had found. The feeling of freedom filled them as they left the island behind. As they paddled, they shared stories and encouraged one another. They talked about their lives before being captured, dreaming of the day they would return to their families. The sun shone brightly, and for the first time in a long while, they felt hopeful. But soon, the sea became rough. Dark clouds appeared on the horizon, and they knew they had to be careful. Despite the danger, the thought of freedom pushed them forward. Chapter 11. The storm hits again. Just when they thought they were safe, the storm hit again. Dark clouds rolled in and the wind picked up, making the sea choppy. Malik shouted, "Hold on tight! We need to stay together!" The raft rocked violently as the waves crashed against it. The group worked hard to keep it steady, using their paddles to steer away from the bigger waves. Rain poured down, soaking them once more. The thunder sounded in the distance, and the sky turned dark. Despite the chaos, they stayed strong. They held on to each other, supporting one another. Here's the final chapter. Chapter 12. The Last Wave. As the storm raged on, Malik and the others struggled to hold the raft together. The waves grew stronger, crashing against them with relentless force. The raft creaked and groaned under the weight of the water. Malik looked around and saw the fear in everyone's eyes. "Stay close!" he shouted, though his voice was nearly lost in the wind. They tried to grip onto the raft, but the waves kept coming, each one stronger than the last. It felt like the ocean was swallowing them whole. Suddenly, a huge wave, taller than anything they had seen before, rose up in front of them. Malik's heart sank as he realized there was no escaping it. The wave crashed down with a powerful roar, splitting the raft in half. Malik and the others were thrown into the cold, dark water. Malik tried to swim, but the waves pulled him down. The ocean felt like an endless darkness, cold and unforgiving. He fought to reach the surface, but the water was too strong. Around him, the others were struggling as well, their faces barely visible in the dark, churning sea. With one last thought of home, Malik let go, feeling the ocean pull him under. The storm raged on, and the pieces of the raft disappeared into the waves. The sea, powerful and merciless, had claimed them all.